Hello everybody. So this is the second part of the series of videos where I show you how to create a wax ring to be casted later on in silver. So on the first video, we covered how to make the ring base, which is this one here in wax. And today we're going to be polishing it and then we're going to be adding decorations. It's going to be decorations made in wax using heat, and we're also going to be using gemstones. So the gemstones are going to be beautiful blue and green sapphires. So don't miss it. And if you didn't watch the first part, please go and find that video and watch that first so you understand what is going on this one. Okay, let's do this. To clean up the inside of the ring and make sure it's even, I'm using this ring mandrel with sharp edges. I just spin the ring around it and check from all sides. You want to make sure that there are no lumps or uneven areas inside. At this stage, we want to finish shaping the back and the bottom part of the ring before focusing on the top. We will start with a rough wax file. This one has white sharp teeth that really grip the wax. And then I switched to a finer file. This one usually is for metal, but it works great for smoothing out wax and rounding off those edges. When you're working with wax, little shavings tend to get packed into your files, especially the fine ones. That's where we use a hard metal brush. It's stiff enough to get deep into the teeth of your file and remove all that build-up wax. I recommend brushing off the files every 5 to 10 minutes while carving. Next, I move to the Scotch Brite style pad. It's a little softer than the previous ones, so it smooths things out without taking off too much of the wax. And finally, I used this fine surface sheet. It's actually meant for lining kitchen drawers, but it works perfectly for gently polishing the wax. You can experiment with different fabrics. Just make sure to go step by step, gradually refining the surface. Now the ring looks a lot more refined and even. So we are ready to start working on the top. This wax base has two different thicknesses, 3 millimeters in one area and 2.5 millimeters in the other area. I decided that the thinner part will be the top of the ring, and that's because I'm going to add decoration around the stones, which will thicken that area anyway. It will be more wax added. And here are the sapphires. Look at those colors. What's really amazing about sapphires is that they are extremely hard. They score a 9 or more on the Mohs scale. That means we can cast them in place. Basically, casting in place, they will go through the entire casting process right in the wax. When the silver flows in, the stones stay exactly where they are. This only works with very hard stones like sapphires, diamonds, zirconians, and a few others. I start by marking the spots where I want each stone to go To do that, I use a simple awl that gently pokes tiny holes into the wax. To hold the stones temporarily, I warm a small piece of beeswax in my hands until it softens. Then I take a tiny piece and press it into each hole. Eventually, I'll be removing this beeswax. But this helps to hold the sapphires in place so I can work on the surface around them. It's important to make sure that each stone is sitting straight and that the table of the stone is parallel to the ring's surface. So I push the stones with a metal ruler and look at them from different angles to make sure that the table or flat top of the stone is parallel to the ring. Okay, now that the sapphires are positioned, I start adding wax underneath each stone to form a kind of a wax bed. This step helps secure the stones to the ring, giving them a stable base. Then I begin dropping small wax balls around the ring to start holding up the decorative elements. Here is something to keep in mind. Any wax you add will become metal when the ring is cast. Since wax is super light, it's easy to underestimate how heavy the final silver piece will be. So try to be mindful of the amount of wax that you're adding, especially if you're working with precious metals. Also, making these wax claws and details can be a little tricky at first. I highly recommend practicing on a scrap piece before adding them to the actual ring. This stage takes a bit of time. It's all about balance and proportions. You want the design to look intentional and not too heavy on one side. And while you're working, make sure not to get wax all over the gemstones. You don't want any metal covering their beautiful color and sparkle when it's cast. And if you happen to see any wax on top or around the gemstones, you can get a little bit of gasoline with a little pad and put it on the top of the stone to clean it. It will clean really well. Just make sure the gasoline is not gonna touch the wax because it will melt it. Another important detail, check under each stone. You should have a little opening beneath each one. This is crucial. If there is no space, the stone can be under too much pressure during casting, which might make it pop out. Plus, those openings help light pass through, which makes the stone shine more once the ring is finished. You can use the same fine point tools from earlier to make or refine those holes if you need to. Now I'm building decorations around the stones and creating a structure to hold them securely after casting. I'm sculpting little cloths of wax. This will eventually become the prongs that hold each stone in place. It's really important to be intentional with the shape and placement here, since the prongs will not only secure the stones but also become part of the overall design. Around each stone, I'm also adding a cluster of wax decorations. In this case, I'm making tiny wax balls in bunches of four to create a soft look. It adds texture and gives the ring a more ornate finish feel. When you place each little ball of wax, don't just stick it on top of the surface. Instead, use the heated excuse me, the heated wire, inserting it gently into the ring surface and then forming the ball. This fuses the two together and helps the ball become a true part of the ring rather than just sitting on top where it could fall off during casting. This step takes patience, but is totally worth it for a strong, seamless finish later on. I'm also constantly rotating the ring mandrel and checking the symmetry. Another important detail, check under each stone. You should have a little opening beneath each one. This is crucial. If there is no space, the stone can be under too much pressure during casting, which might make it pop out. Plus, those openings help light pass through, which makes the stone shine more once the ring is finished. You can use the same fine point tools from earlier to make or refine those holes if you need to. And that's a wrap for part 2. We have carved and shaped the ring, set our stones, and now we've got a wax model that's prepped and polished for the next step, casting. In the next video, I will show the ring cast in metal and do the cleaning and polishing post casting. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. We finally finished this ring and I'm looking forward to see how it is finalized in sterling silver, and I promised I'm gonna make a short video to show you that final ring. For now, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and make any comments. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Also, please share with anybody that you think may be interested in watching these videos. So thanks for watching again, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.